Yep.
Go to Steve.
Steve Wilson, Speedway Digest. Over full fuel run out here, tires are going to drop a couple seconds off every lap by the end. Is it going to be advantageous to off-cycle this thing halfway or two-thirds of the way through a fuel run before the tires fall off too far?
We don't know the tire fall off at this point, so it'd be hard to figure all that out. You know, I think as you look at tomorrow and really see where the fall off is from a consecutive lap standpoint and understand, you know, where the end of that fall off is, you know, from where you are, you know, at lap 20 or 25. But, you know, there's really no way to tell that until you actually know what you're trying to calculate.
Go to Claire in the back left.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. Talking tire fall off, talking the new package, a lot of technical stuff that the basic new race fan maybe doesn't even understand. What would you say to a fan to watch for at Atlanta without any of that to try to describe what might happen here?
Well, we really don't know either. You know, I think that's the question, and you know, we don't have that answer. You know, but I can tell you that it's going to be drastically different than what we've done before. But you know, we've not raced this package. That's the bottom line. You know, you don't have any idea of what you need because we haven't had all the cars on the racetrack. And last week was a great example for a lot of you who wrote stories about the racing and the way that the clash and the qualifying races were the drastic difference. You know, when we dropped the green flag at the Daytona 500 with all the cars on the racetrack. So, you know, other than being drastically different, I would hate to speculate on what the direction of it is going to be and what we're going to do because we don't know. And a lot of times that's good for everybody watching because, you know, once the engineers and the people all wrap their arms around what they need, then it becomes more of a system. And you really start to build the notebook and the things that go with that to, you know, start to evolve the program and what you do and what you work on. So right now we don't have anything to evolve because we don't have any answers. We have more questions with zero answers, really.
Zach, and then wrap it up with Bob.
Zach Tanzwetti, kickingthetires.net. You had Jimmy Johnson on Happy Hours the other day. It looked like you guys had some great discussions. What was that experience like for you and having him on the show for this season?
Well, it was great because, you know, I feel like, in my opinion, Jimmy's one of the most disrespected great drivers that have ever come through this garage. And, you know, it's Jimmy Johnson's, you know, just a good old-fashioned great guy and, you know, helps people and has done great things in the garage, in the race car, out of the race car. And, you know, sometimes I feel like we forget that he's won. A lot of people forget that he's won 7 championships and all the races that he's won and all the great things that he's done. And it's not like he came from a rich daddy or a family that had a lot of money. I mean, he came all the way up from, you know, the bottom all the way to the top and worked hard and had a lot of success with it and has won as many championships as Dale Earnhardt and Richard Petty. And I never feel like he's on that pedestal next to those guys appropriately. And, you know, sometimes I feel like, you know, as a group, from a fan standpoint, you know, I feel like you're just letting it go by and not even realizing that you're watching one of the greatest careers that's ever going to come through the garage. So, you know, so we talked about the basic things, you know, where'd you start? How'd you start? What'd you do? You know, how'd you get here? Because I feel like, you know, a lot of times, you know, the fan base changes so much from, you know, the majority of our fan base that it's almost, you almost have to reintroduce yourself every 5 or 6 years to let people understand who you are. And once you hear the Jimmy Johnson story and how he got to where he is and you know, a lot of people know what he's done here, but it's not like it was handed to him. And so that's always kind of our goal, is to do something different. And I just feel like it's, you know, I don't want the fans to not realize what they're watching with Jimmy because of the fact that he has done so many great things and is such a great person, a really fun guy, and he always gets the knock for, you know, not being the super fun. He's the buttoned up, you know, tight-laced guy. That couldn't be further from the truth than you know, anybody could possibly understand. So we only had 20 minutes, so it's not easy to explain all those things in 20 minutes. But I feel like we touched on some of those things. But it's always fun to you know, to hear those guys talk about stuff like that.
We'll end with Bob right here. Bob, in the front.
Bob Hockers, Fox Sports. Did you talk to Stenhouse at all about the wreck from last Sunday? And if so, is it any easier since he's a client of yours now?
You know, I don't really feel like Stenhouse did anything wrong. I feel like the 42, you know, pulled a block that was like 3 seconds too late and smacked him down into the side. So, you know, I don't feel like he really did anything wrong in shooting that gap that was wide open, and just a really, really bad block by the 42.
Okay.
That's why you should always watch before you complain and make a fool out of yourself, like I've done a lot in the past. That was initially, that's what I would have done. I would have been mad at him, and then you go back and watch the video, and that wasn't the case.
Kevin, thank you so much for your time, and
Yep.
we'll good luck on Sunday.